feel the aura is clean around all of us. We've cleansed the impurities of life, so peace can be with us always. Anyway, that being said, this is a Harmony 929, and as you well know, this year we've been celebrating the 130th anniversary extravaganza of the Harmony Empire. Now, this is an almost gem mint condition, this particular example of this guitar. I had a whole Guitkits episode about the 929. You can look it up. The link is below. Even though that was a little rudimentary, I'm kind of embarrassed by the quality of it. This is a long time ago. Actually, not really embarrassed by it. I don't give a fuck about nothing. There's some funny shit in there, especially when I'm talking about Elvis. Hilarious, man. Anyway, you can watch it if you want. You don't have to. I don't really give two halves of a shit if you watch it or not. If you've seen it already, you're a true fan. I love you. And I hope you have a great, great Christmas coming up. Okay? Or birthday or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or whatever the fuck floats your boat. You know what I'm saying? If you don't celebrate nothing, you know what I'm saying? I hope you don't get nothing. So this particular instrument I picked up at the flea market a long time ago. And it is horrible, horrible, horrible condition. I paid $5 for it, I think. Nothing more than that. And it's a, you know what I mean, a Harmony 929 in terrible condition. And you see the front, what I want to show you, like the full, like, you know what I mean. Let's see that, man. It's all cracked, man. It's warped, man. I'm trying to make sure you can see. And this piece is all coming off. I'll show you on the slab, man. And you'll see it. You'll be like, oh, Bobby G, man, what are you bringing it around here for? Now, I got this as a parts guitar. Oh, you can show us how to parts out another guitar. No. I'm not going to parts to that. I figured, I was looking at it the other day, I was like, hey, you know what, Poppy? I think for the 130th anniversary, we should go out with a big bang, man. And we should do the best of the best, man. I was like, I'm going to restore that guitar to playing condition. You know what I'm saying? And my imaginary friend who was sitting right next to me, he's like, hey, Bobby G, man, I think you're crazy, man. I think you should stop talking to yourself all the time, man. Woo, 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 woo. You know what I mean? And then after he's done saying that, he's like, I agree with you, man. We should definitely do that. And I'm just kidding about that. You should still talk to yourself. Just don't tell anybody. Especially on your vlog that you talk to yourself. Anyway. So, it's got all kinds of, like, problems, man. Like, it's missing wood here on the front, man, even. It's the worst of the worst, man. I mean, I'm not going to try to make this a very long. It's cracked here. All the way up here. It's every one of our, like, you know, big problems we've ever had with a guitar. This one has. It's got two of them, you know what I mean? But it's got everything. It's got the strap button. Oh, the strap button must have fallen off over there. It had everything. You know, it was 100% complete. It had the bridge, this, the tuners, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? All the parts for 1999. But I was like, you know what? I can't bring myself to junk it, man. I can't do it. I can't bring myself to junk it out, man. And I keep doing it to myself, man, where I was like, I'll buy a guitar to junk it out, to use it as parts for other guitars, and I just can't do it. I don't have the strength. Grant me the strength to parts out of a guitar one day. So, I'm trying my best to get it. Oh, man, this is all warped out of the back. I don't know, I think I'm crazy, man. I don't think this is going to work, man. This is definitely not worth it, but it's just like one of those things, like, can I do it? I'm going to use all my crazy theories, pouring hot water into it, doing this, doing that. I might as well pull it all the stops. A big bang. You know what I'm saying? Play it at the end. I'll smash it in front. No, I'm not going to smash it. I'm not going to smash it. I'm not that type. I smashed one guitar in my life. It was a 12-string. I regret it every day of my life, man. I wake up at night. What did I do to that Bruno 12-string? Why did I do that? It was just another dream, man. It's another nightmare. And my wife's like, calm down, calm down, calm down. You'll be okay. We're in a safe place. Good night. See? Don't let the bed bugs back. 929 Extravaganza, man. I would just see that neck block right off the bat, man. See that? 929, man. And it's a pre-Beatle, too, man. Where's the stamp? See that? F63. Fall 63, right before the Beatles, man. That's a premium, man. I initially got it for parts, you know. It had this, needed one of these. It had this, needed one of these. Had this, needed one of these, although I think I have a couple of them still. You know what I'm saying? It has a nice set of Waverly bells on it. They're always nice to have around. You know what I'm saying? All slotted screws. You know what I mean? Got the original plastic nut right when they switched over to plastic. Not broken at all. That's always nice to have. A lot of playware, but it's fucked up. Look at that. Seriously fucked up. There's practically everything that's been wrong with the guitar this year. This is 10 times worse. You know what I'm saying? Feels like all the braces are good inside, though. You know what I mean? Horrible crack down the side. Horrible, horrible. Look at that. Oh. You know what I mean? That's just like, you know. Yeah. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We're going to get this girl back in action. You know what I'm saying? We're going to take it to the limit one more time. So I'll see you in the laboratory. I'm going to take these strings off first and foremost. And put everything away. You know what I mean? Take this girl off. Take this off. It's all dirty, man. You know what I mean? I'll see you in the lab when we're all denuded of all our stuff. Put our strings away. You know what I mean? We'll get to work. We're going to work you over one last time, Noriega. Me, W, and Neil. Together like a family reunion. See you in the laboratory. 1963. Sounds good to me. Hey. Welcome back to this laboratory of ours. It's been a long time, my friend. Why don't you sit down, have a coffee? Whatever happened to that sister of yours? Did she ever marry that douchebag? I hope not. So the Tony's been thinking about it, right? You'll do that, right? Here's a little bit of money for you to give to her, you know, a little gift between the people, you know. Tell her, you know, she should really, you know, examine the value of her life and the value of reconnecting with old boyfriends named Tony. You know what I'm saying? Maybe your life depends on it, and so did hers. And maybe your mother, and I know where your fucking grandmother lives. You fucking douchebag. Hey. Don't get all fucking tense with me. This actual project began way back in August 2022. Those last two videos were filmed back then. Reason being that was the 130th anniversary extravaganza of the company Harmony. This was going to be the grand finale because it was the most fucked up of all of them. This is totally fucked up. Had everything possibly wrong with it. You know, I was going to challenge myself, you know what I mean, to bring this dung heap thing back into fucking play, right? And I was excited about it. I started the videos, you know, my little song and dance, right? And then I found a beautiful Harmony Broadway, like a gorgeous, you know what I mean, old F-hole jazz guitar, man. I was like, this is such a better finale than that POS. We've done this fucking thing a million times, my people. So now you guys get the swill, man. I still have everything all cataloged and away in this little thing, man. We got everything exactly where it's been for a million years, man. I even have the strings. Although now that the trend has re-began, man, we're gonna use these, man. These will go to a nice home. We have everything meticulously labeled, man. We know what's happening, man. We know it's the fact. So let's start working on this thing, man. This is not going to be easy. It's not going to be friendly. It's not going to be fun. First thing we have to do is we have to go outside and just dump like a whole bunch of boiling water in here. And just let it drip out until we get this bump out, man. Because that's really the big thing, man. This big elephant man, fucking hunchback of Notre Dame looking guitar, man, has got to be flattened out. Man, he's got to go to the chiropractor. And this wood is real hard and brittle. It's cracking everywhere. You know, it's all fucked up, man. This is going to be the worst. Even harder to do than that Stella. You know what I mean? I was going to make this the grand finale of 1909 month, but then I was thinking to myself, well, chronologically, because the next one that we're going to do, like the last 1909 is from 1969. So I was like, well, let's do a 63 and a 69. So that's like a Beatle history. You know what I'm saying? The Beatle history of America. 63 is when they first had those Swan singles come out, right? And then 69 is the last time they ever really recorded together, Abbey Road, right? So, you know, so we'll combine our love for the Beatles with our love for Harmony. We'll keep falling back, man. Fall back into Harmony. I'll see you outside with a big boiled fucking carafe of water. And we'll dump it in the fall afternoon together. We might have to do it 2 or 3 times. This this hump is looking pretty, this wood's looking pretty fucking, you know what I'm saying? It's a shame because it looks like everything's glued pretty solid for a change in here. So when I get in there, man, I want to see your energy, man. See, that looks like all the braces are okay. Looks like just fucking hump, man. Piss me off. Let's see outside. Alright, so I got a big boiled pot of water. See all the steam coming off that heavy ass hot pot of water. And of course I have our guitar, man. Now, the point is we're going to try to pour the water down this way. Now, there's a little, you can see, I'm sorry about that. There's a little beam here that's sort of about to fall out, but it's still a little attached. We're hoping that the water's going to loosen that so we can get rid of that and just put some big flat piece of wood on there and just clamp it to the end of the counter. So let's pour this water in very carefully. All right. This is always the harrowing part, man. Put it all in there. We might have to do it a couple times. Right? Oh, it smells like old corn on the cob water, man. Nasty, man. So we're gonna set this on the stairs over there and just let it sort of just seep. Right? See it a little bit. Alright, so we let it drain out. About 20 minutes here on the step. You see the ribs out. Yeah, I mean, that's a good thing. But the wood is sort of improving. You know what I'm saying? But it's not, it's pliable now. But it's not totally like flexible. It's closing up the gaps though. You see that? All the gaps are closing up and it's starting to get like we could just push it down and glue it. But we want to get a little bit more pliable. So, see that? We got another jug of water. We're going to pour that in there. Do the same thing. Let it set another 25 minutes or so. I'll see if that burnt. Alright, so we have it downstairs here. Wet off the press, right? Very pliable now. And it looks like if we push this down, you know what I mean? It just goes like perfectly where it should. Put a little bit of glue in here. Look, that crack almost closed up completely, and it was like obscene before. So we're going to pump as much glue as we possibly can in all the cracks on the top. You have a nice thick piece of cedar here. Cedar is good because it's a strong wood, and this has bilateral knots going the other direction, the other side of the grain. So it makes it stronger, in my opinion. It's very lightweight, too. You know what I'm saying? It's a very light piece of wood. Won't add much to the heft of the guitar, and it'll be like real strong to sort of hold this. We're going to coat this motherfucker with glue, stick it in here like this, and then just ease it in the way and then clamp it. We're going to have pieces of flat, strong wood on either side of the clamp, just holding everything together. Put a little bit of glue in here, too, because it's naturally coming back where it needs to come back, but we got to clamp it flat. I'll see you when that's been done. Wow. I even have like a little tiny guy in there trying to keep those, you know what I'm saying? Those cracks from uncracking, man. It's a maze of mess, man. A maze of wonder. Right? And I have this. Some of them don't even have like anything that they're clamping. They're just sort of trying to straighten the wood because it's nice and like sort of wet. Just out of straightening the wood. It feels a lot better, man. Anyway, let's let this set a day or two, maybe 3. You know what I'm saying? We're in no rush. We're in no rush. I'll see you at that print. Alright, so it's been about 6 days. 6 dates, man. We want to, you know, make sure this guy was horribly deformed. We want to make sure that the wood had an ample time to reset. Dry in the reset position. And we'll have a little bit better luck shaping this guy into his final destination, right? So let's take these clamps off and see what happened. What happened, man? Look at that. We still have some wax paper sort of stuck to the top there. You know, the glue sort of, hey, man, come in here, let's have a party. Right? But other than that, it's looking good. Looking really, really good. So, this terrible crack here, man, needs to be attended to. Right, I'm not sure exactly what direction we should start I have to more, you know what I mean, carefully study the crack by pushing it out and seeing, you know, the best way to set it. So I'm going to do that right now, and then I'll set the first part of it. I think we'll do it in 2 or 3 steps. I don't think we can do it all in one, but we'll see. We might be able to do it all in one. I'll see after we've attended to that old fucking eyesore, right? See you in a moment. Alright, so part 1 is clamped. Right, all the way into the back to the genesis of the crack. In the back to the genesis of the cracks, we got another half to go. I'll see you after this is set for a couple hours, and we'll reduce this guy over here, man. Okay? See you there. Alright, so now we got the other part of the crack closed off. Part dose, man. Part douche. I mean, deuce. I'll see you when this has been cert. Certainly, cert. Right? See you then. Okay, so it's the next date. Let's take off these shackles and see what we've done. You know what I'm saying? Let's see how the progress has progressed. See you in a second. Look at that. Back together again. We're together again. Look how flat the top is, though, man. Isn't that incredible? Isn't that incredible? Remember how it was? So now what we want to do is we want to clamp this right here. Just this section from here to here. No more than that. Just that on the top. Okay. Take it from the top there, Neil. Ready, manual? Assume the position. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so 2 pipe clamps pushing it together, and 2 clamps holding it down, right? It's really just this clamp, because that one's just like, you know what I mean, for good luck. Let's see what happens after it sets, right? I wonder what happens, man. So we got a little piece of wood in there. You know what I'm saying? That's shaped like a curve, man. So it gets right in there, man. That's strategic positioning is what we call it in the old Luthery world, man. Luther Vandross. See you in toast. Alright, so this is pretty much dry. So what we want to do now, while it's still clamped, we can do it. See this? It's kind of a bummer, man. It's a real bummer, man. Defectual, ineffectual, man. So we're going to pump a whole bunch of glue in there, right? Take the suction cup, dry it off, and we're going to put this hefty ass fucking torque clamp on there. And just seal the deal, man. Seal the deal. I'll see it, that pint. See that? It's like a He-Man tarp clip, man. You can't even see the crack, man. I can't even see a crack. I'm so drunk, man. I'll take one of these ludes, man, and make everything feel. Alright, so everything's well dry. Well dry, my friends. Let's unclamp this guy. Take a look at the back and see what our plan of action will be. Right? I'll see you in 1.2 seconds. 3.7 gigawatts! Looks so great, man. So fantastic. So, we looked at the back. The back's all kinds of fucked up. This part right here, though, there's like a lip that comes out. But if we push behind there, we can get it like even. So we're going to slowly work our way around this thing to sort of try to close that off. And then we'll come back and like there's all kinds of uneven stuff around here, but this is all fucked up. And you know what I mean? This is going to be a hard little fucking bargain right there, but it's not that big of a deal. We'll slowly work our way up this way. Try to even it out, right? There we go, man. Got part 1 done, man. Part 1 done. Part 1 done, man. Up to this point. Right here. And no further. Right? I'll see you after that's dried. Sit around and set fire, my friend. There's section deuce, man. Section deuce, man. What do we gotta do with this guy next, man? Oh, he's a wild looking one. Well, this one was pretty nasty toward the end here, man. So let's just set another spell. We're gonna sit down a little spell and just rest a while and get wistful. Don't you like to get wistful, William? Let's get wistful for a while. Look at that, man. So we got that big hump down, man. We got it laid down pretty much with a big block and a couple assists. So let's let this dry out, man. And I'll see you at that burn. All right, just a little muscle and tussle. Gets the job done. All right, so we let it go well over 24 hours. It was a very, very, very messed up sort of area there. We want to make sure everything's like fully, you know what I'm saying, relaxed and rested before we take off the tension from the clamps and rest it solely on the glue. Right? After that's done, we're going to clamp over here. There's a couple little, you know what I mean, things we got to take care of. So see you at that burnt. Right? All right, so that's the last clamp for now. I'll see you after it's all set. All right, so that's probably clamped and dry by now. It's been about 5-6 hours. Let's talk about this, man. This little kerner here. Let's glue this up and clamp this in such a way that this is totally flat and plain. We might have to put a little piece of wood here. We'll figure out something, man. We'll get it right. We'll get it right there, son. See you when that's burnt. Oh, yeah. Got this heavy box of dies holding everything tight. Nice and flat, man. I like that, man. Came out right. Everything's nice and flat, actually. Remember how jacked up it was? How curvy and curly it was? What a mess it was. Let's let this set. And then we're going to close up this big gaping hole here. Close up that gaping gap, girl. 1, 2. Alright, so it's the next day. Let's take off this clamping nonsense. Let's get on with the music, Doc. Alright, so there we go, man. Nice and even, Steven. Looks good. Solid, other than the big hole in here. Hey, man, I'm figuring the hole. Got this piece of wood. Looks like maybe poplar. Birch, maybe. We're going to put it up here. We're going to put a piece of tape over on this end, a little piece of tape on this end. Then we're going to flip the guitar over and we're going to just trace that little thing out, man. Take it over here to the scroll saw, William. Right? You know, we're going to scroll them up, man. You scroll up and scroll back, man. Right? Now see if that burnt when we cut out the little piece. Friends. And there it is, people. It doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, this guitar is far from perfect. Just has to be like almost good looking. You know what I mean? So now we're going to glue it to the instrument with some wood glue. Here, clamp it, right? As good as we can. I'll see you at that burnt after it's dried. You know what I mean? Why waste your time? Here's wet, here's dry, here's wet, here's dry. We'll get to the point after it's dried. So let's take these clamps off, right? And we'll get to the next part. Alright, so it's level. Flat is the best thing. It's the right size, you know what I mean? We don't have to really do too much trimming. But there's a little crack that runs through it. We got a glue stain on it, which that doesn't really matter, I don't think. We're going to prime it. So we're going to go outside and fill this with Bondo, and there's a little bit of section here, and in the corner here maybe, in the corner here a little bit, and right here I got a little fidgety on the scrolls, so I started thinking about better times, you know what I mean? Hey, so let's get this guy all Bondoed up outside. See you there. Alright, so we're outside. We got the Bondo ready, man. We got a little station mix the Bondo out at, you know what I mean? We got little paper towel in case shit gets all messed up. Bunch of different size popsicle sticks, or tongue depressors as these big guys are called, right? Same shit, only bigger. To mix it, smooth it, to move it, you know what I'm saying? Then we got this guy, the little tiny wipe, right? He's real sharp. We'll use him to just sort of, you know, that's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. It's like the land of 1,000 weed whackers and fucking leaf blowers and shit, man. You don't know you're outside until you hear like the sound of small engines. Let's get this guy all stuffed up, man. Right? And I'll be right back at you. Alright, so we made quick work of all that mess. You know what I'm saying? We made quick work of everything. We made a little bit of a mess. Not too much of a mess, though. Right? See after this is dried out here in the nice, beautiful autumn breeze. Alright, so it's nice and hard. Set it outside for quite a bit. Nice, man. So let's get it sanded down and let's get this tape off. You know what I'm saying? See if that burnt. So it's like, you know what I mean, flat. You know what I mean? The only thing I can feel is this crack, but we're not going to really mess with that because that's still like brown is still like up to this point, then it becomes like black at this point. That's kind of a complicated thing doing the brown and the black. We're not going to mess with that. But what we're going to do now is we're going to tape it up, you know what I mean, like right after the crack. You know what I'm saying? So we can get it outside. We're going to hit it up with a coat of filler primer, brush that back a little bit, and then we're going to hit it up with 2 coats of lacquer, maybe 1 coat of lacquer. We'll see what it looks like. Black lacquer, that is. See you outside, honey. All right, so we have a beautiful breezy day here in the shade. Got it taped off perfectly with an old garbage bag. That's all you really need. Got a piece of jump tape here we can pull off after we do the primer, so the lacquer, you know, goes over the primer. All right, looks good. So we're gonna give it 1 coat of primer right now. Parlor primer. Let's do it up, man. Looks beautiful. Let's let it dry, then we can examine it more prettier. All right, so the primer's dry, right? We're gonna take a little piece of steel wool and just sort of smooth it out a little bit around here in the lines. Then we're gonna pull this little jump tape off and like smooth it a little bit there, just a tiny bit. See if it's ready to be lacquered, or maybe we need a little bit more primer. I think we're good for lacquer though. It looks nice and covered. See in a minute. There we go, looking nice and smooth. Nice and smooth. You see the little tiny edge in there? See that edge of the original black lacquer? That's where we, you know what I mean, have made our print, right? There we go, man. A little bit left in this can. We'll try to exhaust all of our last resources. Right, so we kicked that whole can, man. It's all gone. A little bit of paint. Let's let it dry out here in the breezy autumn. Seeing them a little bit downstairs. Alright, so it's been about 36 hours since we last painted this. I'm sitting down here. It's kind of hard. I know they say lacquer, you gotta like wait a whole week. You know, usually I do, but I mean, it's a little tiny piece. Hey, a little fucking tiny piece. So before we unwrap it like a beautiful Christmas present, let's take some steel wool and knock that shine down, man. Knock it down a little bit, man. It's way too crazed, man. I'll see you in a moment. See that? Now it's all matte looking. Let's take this package apart, man. Let's see what it looks like unhinged. Not bad, man. Not bad. Remember, there was another crack before that, so it's looking all right. But we're missing that little white band. That little white band. So let's take some acrylic paint, man, and let's just spread it on there with a little piece of magic erase sponge. I mean, we can do it real nice for the people. I'll show you when it's done. There we go, man. It's all dry out. It doesn't look perfect, but it's perfect enough. It looks much better if you're over here. So let's put a little shellac on there to yellow it up a little bit more. Use a little bit of this. You know what I'm saying, man? A little bit of this, a little bit of that. I'll see it that burnt. There we go, man. The shellac, man. Shellac gets the yellow on, man. Looks correct now. I mean, if you're back here, man, and you don't have no light on it, you know what I'm saying? Nobody would know, man. But we got the light on it because we want to look at what we're doing. Now we got to take care of this. This is the steaming it, man. Steam, just a steamer, man. Especially on the headstock, right? Back here, we got a little bit of steaming stain. Not much on the back. A little bit over here. Now the way we get rid of this is very, very simple. We take some regular nail polish remover, so like vitamin E and shit, and it's not that strong. And we just quickly wipe it. We dab it. You know what I'm saying? And it removes it. And then we polish it up. And it's like fucking nothing ever happened. You know what I'm saying? So take a good look at it now. With all the jerk off elements in there. And in a couple minutes, before your eyes, you will see practically a new guitar. 1, 2, 3. There it is, man. We got most of the white off. There's still some like glue and stuff like hanging out in there. Has to be removed. You know, I took the tuners off because there was a lot of white in this area. I didn't want to get any acetone on those old plastic buttons. Wouldn't have been fun. So let's talk about furniture polish, man. This is the evolution of incompetencies at Dollar Tree since the pandemic. This is their first redesign of the furniture polish bottle. Yellow on yellow on yellow. What does that say? Does that say something in there? 32% kielbasa grease? I don't know if that's polished enough for me. You know what I'm saying? And then they're like, well, let's make it a little whiter, right? So you can see a little bit better. White, yellow, darker yellow. But it still is like, you know what I mean? What? And then they had to tell everybody there was $1.25. So they're like, okay, we give them a little bit of brown and tell them $1.25 now, not dollar, right? Now you can actually see it. So this is the least of the incompetencies, and this is 36% kielbasa grease. It's the most polished of all the polishes. Let's get it on this guy and like dark everything up, clean it all up, man. Looking all nice for the faithful instead of looking all desperate for the faithful. I don't like feeling desperate. Do you? Sometimes I do. That's why I got a steel rod in my neck. Actually popped the shine on old girl. Popped a little bit of a shine. Look at that. Ooh. So, we got a whole bunch of areas, trouble spots, you know what I'm saying, where we glued up. You know what I'm saying? It'll kind of look a little beastly. You're looking a little beastly there. All cracked out. And your head's all scuffed up looking. Man, when you could use a little bit of reimbursement here where you've been taking away my funds, right? Take some old furniture marker. Just get it in there, man. See after that burnt. Right? See that? You look a little bit younger there. I wish that Biden would have come see me. I could have made him look like Jack Kennedy. Anyway, here we go, man. You know what I'm saying? We're into the final stretch. Things are looking good. Things are looking up. Let's get a little bit of clarity going on here. Who's got a clarification that needs to be clarified? It's looking kind of unclear itself, but it'll do the job. Let's bring a little bit of shine on top of these frets, you know what I'm saying? I don't see any problems, but you know what I'm saying? Let's bring a little bit of shine back. Make the fretboard great again. Alright, so we got all the frets shiny again. We needed to do a little bit of shaping up here. You know what I'm saying? These are the only ones that were a little uneven. There was one that was real low. Now they're all the same level, though, man. We got them good again. Let's wipe this shit off. Then come back. Take a piece of steel wool. Get some mineral oil on it. Smear it in there. Very carefully. Very, very carefully. Very carefully. See if that burnt. Again, this is not real rosewood, but we grease it up like real rosewood. You know why? Sometimes if you treat a trans like a woman, you get womanly results. That's what we say down the avenue, you know what I'm saying? We're all, for the new woke movement. She's just like a woman to me. Oh, she stands one cheap piece. And she's got one of these. Anyway, let's let it set for a little while. Just a little bit of while, William. You know what I'm saying? Let that, it was really good for getting a lot of that schmutz off the fucking fretboard. It was just so much shit, man. I used to pull my fucking cigarettes out. This is what they used to call it. Like, I don't know what they call it with rosewood, but they used to call it ebonized. It was like a Grover term, I believe, for like these, they had these poplar or pine bridges, like hard pine bridges. And they paint them with like an early epoxy, kind of brown epoxy with a little bit of ebony wood dust in there. And this is ebonized, it's like real ebony, but not, you know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what Harmony was doing with these fretboards, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know if there's any real rosewood in there, but I mean, it's like an epoxy paint, kind of, you know what I'm saying? Because it was real durable, you know what I'm saying? I could finger it and throw it around a little bit and it wouldn't get too hurt. You know what I'm saying? It's from the streets. So let's let that grease sit in, man. Then we wipe it off, and I'll see at that point, William. Or if you're Springsteen, you'll be windy. Trans like us We're born to run. Alright, so we wiped it up. We waited a few hours. You know what I'm saying? It looks much better. Look at all that stuff that came off, man. Look at all that dirt, man. Back in the 60s and 70s, hey, man, I just took a big dump, man. I'm not going to wash my hands. I'm just wipe my hands on my guitar, right? That's what they used to do, man. Culture. We don't know about these things today. Because, you know what I mean? Ever since COVID, it's all about washing your hands. Washing your hands. We don't forget. And we don't remember. So, I got two unlikely lads here. Right? They swear just like your father, but they're very cool for cats. This, we're going to put it all over the body. Everywhere but here. Here. Back to here. Everywhere on the guitar, I said, but here. Why? Well, William, I was wondering when you would ask why. Why is because we're going to use a little bit of regular old paste wax. It's not a shiny, not a sheeny, but it's a little bit more durable, right? A little bit more muted, but it's a little bit more durable. That's a durable joke you told me. I don't like it. I'm going to tell on you for telling me such a durable joke. It's dirty and durable, so I'll see we're all sheeny and shony, right? Let's all get up and dance to a song that was a hit before your mother was gone. Oh, look at that. Look at this thing, man. The answer, my friend, is a glistening in the wind. Look at that. Oh, it's like a glass. Like a fine, fine glass. Or as we sometimes say, a gloss, right? Looking good, man. Looking great. So, let's put these tuners back in. We got all the screws exactly where they belong. They're going in the same old holes, man. Only a better time to be had. These are better days. Better days to get some screws. There we go, man. Worth more off the guitar than on. So, we're getting close, man. Getting close to the finish line. Remember this old girl? Let's take some steel wool to it and brighten it up a little bit. Affix it to the instrument of new, right? See you in a minute. Thank you for going back on, right? Oh, alright, so, this piece, we got the screws. Let's put a little tiny bit of Mom's on there. You know, just sheen him up a little bit, shine him up. Make him look spiffy for the people. See you in a minute. Look at that, man. Looks beautiful. And the sheen just don't stop on anything, man. Look how flat that is, man. That's a true flat top. It was so fucked up before. So we got the bridge here, and we got about, you know what I mean, $4,500 of cocaine, too. So we'd have a good night, man. Anyway, with this guy, something's gone wrong with the E string. There's two grooves. The first groove got too deep, and they started a new groove, which is just silly. So we're going to take some gel crazy glue, right? Gel. And we're use some of my fine gray powder, right? That's baking powder. Baking soda, sorry. In the Midwest, they call that baking pop. It's not baking soda. You want a glass of baking pop? Right? We drink it and we get all fizzy. And we're going to put some of that on top of the gel crazy glue, and it's going to turn hard as a veteran behind the fucking shed, the VFW, with a whore. What? Where do you come up with this stuff, man? I don't, man. It just comes to me from someplace above. See you in a moment. Alright, so what did we do, William? Well, how about a new lease on life? What? Isn't that wonderful? It's all flat again, see that? If I could be flat again, math again. So I got a Blake furniture marker, right? We're just gonna get the top of that real quick. I'll see you in a moment. Just a minute. Oh, like a new man, right? Like a new man. And we even have a little nerve carved in there for the vein to sink in, right? So we're looking good here. Almost done. Missing this guy now. We had a nut on this guitar when we first got it. This is a nut. This is from a 1960s Japanese instrument, which is kind of rare. It's kind of too small, man. Too small to fit the bill. I mean, it doesn't look too small, but you know what I'm saying? That E string is dragging on the actual fretboard, so we can't have that. So what the guy had the guitar before me, this little piece of plastic that was glued in here, and this was glued on top of it. We call this a booster seat. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of ridiculous to put a booster seat in here. We have the original bone one, 45. You know what I'm saying? This is one of the 40. It's either 44 or 45 on these guys, right? So we're going to glue this guy on, man. Right? And then we'll almost be done. Right? I'll see you after it's set. Alright, so we've had it clamped overnight. Now we're ready for the big leads, people. It's always good to have an extra one of these around, too. They're kind of hard to find nowadays, you know what I'm saying? The plastic ones from the 60s. Still got one more thing, man. What is this thing? Well, I seen a hole in my bottom, mama. I'm not really sure what it does. I'll stick my finger in there. It's not really good for me. Oh, it's too small. Let's tap that in. Let's tap that in with a rubber hammer, right? We don't want it half out. But I don't want it. It's not going to fit. Now it's in there. It's in there nice and tight. A couple taps from our friend Brutus. Right? Well, now we got everything all ready, man. Stage is set. Let's string it up. Right? And then we'll listen to it, and then we'll go on our own little ways. 1. Climber shots and 2. And there it is, folks. Never imagined I could ever put this guy back in action. That's why I abandoned this video 2 years ago. But it went together without a hitch, really, you know what I mean? Well, we used all our little tricks, right? The action's not that bad. It's got these rainbow strings on there bringing the treble out, man. Those Waverly bells, I could just take them right off of this thing if I ever fucking grew tired of it. But most importantly, it's got a flat top now. Can you believe that? Top is totally flat, and it's complete. It's got that little piece that was missing. And it don't look half bad. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not like Gibson Les Paul or anything, but I mean, it doesn't look nearly in bad shape, you know what I mean, as it came to us, right? Yeah, it's so flat. It's just really great. It was all sunken in. Terrible. Terrible. So we're almost at the end of our fall back in harmony thing, man. You know what I'm saying? We're almost there. I've played a lot of these 929s in my time. Some of them are good, some of them are dogs, some of them are, you know, This one's sort of like, it's right in the middle. It's not a dog, but certainly not as good as that last one we did, that Silvertone 62 or whatever it was. The last one we just did, oh my God, it's such a great instrument. That's like a daily driver for me now. I swear to you, I play a thing every single day. You know, I have a bad day and they're sitting right there, top of the heap, man. This is not going to be one of those, you know. I was hoping that was going to be the old Silvertone with the funny stuff up top that we started off with, you know what I mean, this 929 nonsense with. But alas, so far, last time we met, you know what I mean, that was the best one. Our Halloween episode. Right? So, let's hear it, man. Right? The Stella for the fellas. The fellettes. Hey, don't get too felonious. Alright? You always have the courtesy. Right? And then we're going to say, peace be with you. Look after yourself. Peace be with you. Look after yourself. God bless. And God bless the Gabagool. Gabagool happens to be my favorite lunch mute. It's a lunch mute, just like prosciutto. This is the pre-Beatles 63, back from the dead. Never thought that this guy would be playing again, man. Never in a million years. And with this big block in here, it's kind of reminds me of my first guitar, man. It's like a real sturdy, fucking cheapy ass guitar, man. It's got like a beautiful little, like. tune these bad boys with Waverly bells with one of these things. You don't want to crack the button, man, because they're so tight. So, hey man, you know what I'm so tired of hearing about? Election, man. Fucking election, man. It's over with, man. Let's stop talking about it. It's too divisive. I mean, I don't really even care one way or another, honestly. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that all of our serious personal liberties are all tied up in states' rights. If you like blue rights, you just live in a blue state, right? If you like, you know what I mean? And Texarkana, you know, you go move out, you know, into a red state, you know what I'm saying? They were pelting me with all kinds of water guns because of the fact that I identify with an otter and I have an upside down rainbow flag in front of my house. I don't understand. You're in the wrong fucking wrong place, man. You know what I'm saying? Live with people that you get along with. People get so upset about this kind of stuff, man. Don't worry about it, man. Really, you know what I'm saying? I knew that lady was going to lose as soon as they changed Biden out, man. It's like, what are you doing that for? You know what I'm saying? I didn't know anything about her. I only knew that she was like Montel Williams' ex-girlfriend. So what are you putting her in there for? They could have gotten somebody better. Like George Clooney or something like that. You know what I mean? If it was somebody in there, fucking Montel's ex-girlfriend, she can be a leader. She got a nice smile and everything. Hey! She didn't really have anything else to say other than, hey, you know. She read a couple papers, you know what I mean? Hey, we're going to still, you know what I mean, continue along with still same old song, right? I don't know, you know what I mean? I'm not criticizing anybody. I'm not even saying nothing. I'm just saying, why is everybody so surprised? You know what I mean? Like, all my like liberal friends like, man, I can't believe it. Did it really happen? I can't believe it. Should have replaced the you know what I mean, Biden with somebody good, you know what I mean? Look at the Republicans, man, and Ronald Reagan and made him into a big, you know what I mean? Donald Trump, a politician. He's on the fucking Apprentice, you know what I'm saying? You know, pick the right figurehead if you want votes. People aren't that smart, man. She was Montel's ex-girlfriend. What do you know what I mean? You complain about it? Come on. Let's be friends. Anyway, I really don't care one way or another. I just think it's funny. Just stop, you know what I mean? Stop. Don't worry about it. It's going to be okay. I promise. We're going to be together. Anyway, you know what else I hate? I hate it. This new whippersnapper generation. And they're big time artists stealing all the old song titles, you know what I mean, and calling them their own, you know what I'm saying? If you Google Just the Way You Are right now, it's going to say Song by Bruno Mars. Ronald Reagan, the actor? Yeah, Bruno Mars. That's Billy Joel's song, man. Oh yeah, he's got a little song, that's right. And I was like, so I just put the song title by chords, and I came up with a song, totally different song. One song also, Woman's World by Squeeze. You do Woman's World now? It's like Woman's World by Kathy Perry or Katy Perry, whatever her name is. I might have heard it before, I might not have heard it before, but that's a Squeeze song, man. The crown of the kingdom is given to the woman. The kingdom of the kitchen, where she says she shouldn't. There on a stainless steel cigarettes and matches. Whistle to the radio on every hook she catches. But the frown, tie her down, tie her down. She likes to wear the crown of the kingdom. Hey man, it's gonna be alright. You're gonna win the fight. 'Cause when you want and you really want, and we get the job done, so hold on. Peace be with you. Love you all, man. Don't worry about it. I'll see you next week. Story continues, man. 929 part 2.